In tomorrow's America, belief is the new enemy. Even a silent prayer can get you black-bagged. In the Citizens' Republic of America, religion is outlawed. Historian Raphael Ward is a good citizen, teaching students the government-approved narrative of the nation's history. But when he is tasked by Relic Enforcement Command with destroying the artifacts he cherishes, he begins to question the regime's motives and soon finds himself caught up in a secret revolution. It will take the uncompromising faith of an outlaw believer as an ally, and the acceptance of his guilt for his mother's death to help Ward break free of the government's yoke. If he's lucky, he might also prevent an apocalyptic future for which his secular world is completely unprepared. The Spider in the Laurel questions the methods of both governmental authority and those who attempt to subvert the status quo. It presents two unique visions: a new, never-before-heard fairy tale, an alternate creation mythos inspired by Genesis and other ancient and Dark Age mythologies. Right. So this year seems kind of like poster child year for dystopian stories. Not necessarily reading dystopian stories, but experiencing dystopian stories. So when I say that you should really read this dystopian book, that means rather a lot. This book is massive in scope. It deals with a lot of issues of governmental authority, of people's personal beliefs, of the ability to think for oneself, to delve into history and use it to understand modern times. It is amazingly well thought out and complicated and just perfectly woven together. Basically, this book is yeah, it's great. Okay. The characters. We have our main character, Raphael Ward, who is a professor of mythological history at a university. He is basically teaching the approved idea of the world as far as what people falsely believed in terms of their mythology and how it caused problems, and what the enlightened Citizens' Republic of America then improves on. However, he is also working on as sort of like a secret recruit for a corporation, or not corporation, yeah, words, an association that gathers relics associated with this mythology and removes them from society, as well as they sort of regulate people's beliefs and whatnot so that people who try to perpetuate these things go away, basically. Raphael was recruited, he is working for this, but he really is a historian, and destroying artifacts is hard, and this gets him into trouble. And then he has to go and cause more trouble. It's pretty fantastic in terms of the plot. The character development in this is pretty fantastic. We learn a lot about Raphael through the way he interacts with this world. We don't get the info dumps that you sometimes see when you're trying to get the tragic backstory in, which I really liked. And the change that we see in him from beginning to end is really impressive. It's very interesting, and of course book 2 is going to be even more better. Yes, anyways, I haven't gotten that far. The other characters in the story are really quite well done as well. You don't see quite as much of their development as you do our main character. For obvious reasons, he's our main character. They're not. I mean, whatever. But their development is also extraordinarily well thought out and well done. It's pretty great. My favorite part is definitely the historical digressions. They're not long, they're not complex, but they're so cool and super, well, I guess important to the plot is basically the thing. I mean, he's a historian. The main character is a historian. He's studying, you know, all the things, how things fit together, how they influence the modern world, etc. So of course there's going to be history involved. But the way that this particular book explores that is just super cool. You don't need to have the background in history to understand this, but if you know enough to know names, then you can sort of realize that the way that this is laid out and presented is just, well, it's great. Well thought out, well researched, and the implications are super fun to explore. Yeah. I will say the one critique I have is that some of the action scenes don't quite follow the same logic as the rest of the scenes, and I think that's more just, it's kind of hard to depict fast-moving action in a slow-moving world of words. Every now and again, something would happen where person A made some sort of move and we're not quite sure how they did that because they were somewhere else or doing a different thing a few moments before. It was a little bit hard-ish to read in that regard, but honestly it made up such a small portion of the action scenes and such a small portion of the book in general that I can pretty much disregard that entirely. So, yeah. If you are interested in this book, I highly recommend giving it a look. I don't know if it's, like, supremely relevant to the events happening at the moment, but it gives you enough to think about in terms of how to look at the world, why we look at the world the way we do, that I think it probably, it makes sense. And it's just a really great book to read anyways. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you today. Definitely recommend this book. If you're interested, as usual, all of the links are in the description box below. You can find them there. The series has 3 books, I think, so far. I have not read all of them yet. They're on my list, and I'm getting to them. My TBR list is just really long. Anyways, go read this book. Links are below. You can find my links there too if you're interested. Social media and books and website and all that internet stuff. Yeah, have a fantastic day. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, and I shall see you next time.